In the calm above your head, invisible dancers start water slips from earth, reaching skies so vast a delicate balance of heat and coolness. The first step, where tiny particles become the world's whispered storytellers, and drops find their beginning in the hush of the atmosphere. Look up, just above you, beyond the rooftops, beyond the tallest trees stretching their arms toward the clouds. The sky seems vast, open, even empty. Yet within this quiet expanse, a world of invisible chemistry unfolds, softly and endlessly, like a hidden symphony that shapes the rain about to fall. Imagine the water around you, the puddles glistening after a morning dew, the ponds still and shimmering afar, the ocean's endless breath. This water is never still. Your body, your clothes, the earth, all bathe in water that moves in a slow, grand dance called the water cycle. Today, your journey begins with one delicate stepping stone in this eternal choreography: evaporation. Evaporation is water's quiet escape into the air. It is the invisible step where liquid water, warmed gently by the sun's touch, gathers the courage to break free from its friends, rising as vapor, light as the sigh of a breeze. When a warm afternoon dries the wet line of your shirt or makes puddles shrink, this process is at work, slow but sure. You may not see it, but the molecules of water move in a lively dance, jostling one another beneath your gaze. At the surface of water, a few lucky molecules get just enough warmth to leap skyward. This leap is a fragile freedom, a single molecule slipping the bonds that tether it below. These molecules float upward, invisible wisps finding their place in the atmosphere's vast reservoir. This reservoir holds the countless droplets, soon to be vapor. Alone does not make rain. Water, light and free, does not simply bind itself into drops. It needs an invitation, a tiny sanctuary to cling to. Here, the sky reveals another secret. Raindrops need seeds. The air brims with invisible dust, salt from the ocean's spray, pollen grains wandering from flowers, and even charcoal from distant fires. These specks, smaller than anything your eyes can hold, serve as cloud condensation nuclei, little islands around which vapor gathers like guests at a quiet gathering. Think of it like this: vapor molecules are shy dancers, needing a partner to hold hands. Dust particles become that steady companion, coaxing vapor molecules to join together, forming clusters that grow, layer by layer, drop by drop. Without these tiny anchors, the sky would remain empty, endless vapor, adrift, but no rain to soothe the earth. This delicate birth demands balance. Temperature must cool just right for condensation to flourish. Pressure must soften the collisions between molecules, and the dance of hydrogen bonds must weave the cluster into a liquid droplet. Too warm, and molecules scatter like restless whispers. Too cold, and water may freeze, crystallizing into snow or ice instead. Picture each droplet as a tiny world, born from vapor's touch and dust's steady embrace, suspended in the sky by gentle currents. They hold invisible stories, traces of the air's chemistry, secrets of the earth's dust. They hang together, forming clouds not as cotton balls of fluff, but as immense suspensions of millions of these tiny droplets, each less than the width of hair. Within this grand airborne community, droplets drift, collide, merge, or evaporate again. A restless rhythm of beginnings and endings that prepares the sky's gift, rain. Pause for a moment to imagine these droplet shapes. Somewhere in your mind lives the classic teardrop, pointed and delicate, but nature shapes raindrops differently. At first, drops are perfect spheres, their surface tension pulling molecules into the gentlest hug. But as droplets gather size, gravity tugs and air pushes back, transforming them. They become like flattened little buns, soft on the bottom, sometimes splitting into smaller drops before they land. The drop you feel on your skin is a masterpiece, sculpted by invisible forces. Hydrogen bonds, tiny, fleeting attractions between water molecules, are the silent architects shaping each fall. Their ephemeral grip doesn't last long individually, but together they hold entire droplets in balance. Imagine the sound of rain now, falling gently on leaves, windows, rooftops. That patter is a chorus of drops, each different in size and shape, hitting surfaces with soft, irregular rhythms, creating a lullaby for the earth and for you. As you feel the first cool droplets brush your skin or hear the soft tapping outside your window, you are touching a marvel of chemistry and physics combined. In this way, Every rain begins quietly, invisibly, high in the sky. From invisible vapor moments ago, to microscopic droplets hanging on dust particles, to the first drops letting go into the air. The journey of each raindrop is a whispered story of balance, transformation, and connection. Remember, the air around you is never empty, but alive, full of particles, molecules, and gentle chemistry crafting the water that will soon kiss the earth and lull us to sleep as you settle into your dreams. Carry this thought. Every drop above you holds the memory of the journey just begun, a tiny voyager suspended between sky and earth, whispering softly of the delicate dance that is raindrop. So, what stories will the next raindrop tell as it falls? Tiny hands hold fast in the sky's embrace. Invisible threads pull molecules close into shapes. More than water, each drop is a crafted gem, carrying stories of bonds, balance, and gentle force. A quiet dance that weaves clouds, light, and sound together. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the air around you as something soft, yet alive. Above you, countless water droplets float and drift, suspended not by magic, but by subtle forces playing out in delicate balance. Imagine that each droplet is a tiny jewel, sculpted by invisible hands that hold the secret chemistry of rain. You've already met evaporation, water escaping upwards, and condensation, vapor gathering onto specks of dust or salt to become droplets. Now, step closer to the droplets themselves, the sculptors of form, shape, and story. Water molecules are fascinating creatures. Each one is made of two small hydrogen atoms bonded to a larger oxygen atom, forming a special angle, a gentle bend, like a pair of arms wrapped around a beating heart. This bent shape gives water a mild polarity, meaning one side is a little positive, the other a little negative, like tiny magnets seeking connection within a droplet. These molecules hold hands through hydrogen bonds, gentle attractions between slight charges on neighboring molecules. It's as if millions of friends form a circle, linking arms briefly but continuously. These bonds are fleeting, each lasting only a fraction of a second, yet together they create a strong, invisible skin called surface tension. This tension gently pulls the droplet into the most efficient shape possible, a perfect sphere. Think about the next time you see mist hovering in the air, or morning dew resting like tiny beads on a leaf. Those droplets are miniature spheres, suspended gracefully. They are masterpieces of physical law, but raindrops don't stay small forever. Inside clouds, droplets collide, merging into larger drops. Gravity starts to pull these drops downward, yet the air pushes against them, like you holding your hand out the window of a moving car and feeling the wind pressing back. Falling raindrops face an invisible force from below. As the drops grow around 2 millimeters in diameter, about the size of a small bead, something remarkable happens. Their shape shifts from a perfect sphere to something more like a tiny hamburger bun. The bottom flattens under the pressure of air, while the top remains rounded. The larger the droplet grows, the more it is squashed and distorted by air resistance. At around 4 millimeters across, drops become so flattened that their bottoms curve inward, a bit like a parachute catching air. If they grow larger still, the tension holding them together can't keep up with the pull of gravity and forces of air, and the drop splits mid-air into smaller droplets. This is why raindrops rarely fall larger than around 5 millimeters. So, the classic teardrop shape you might picture, pointy on top and round below, is more a charming myth than nature's design. Nature's raindrops are shaped by an elegant compromise between cohesion and collapse, between the gentle link of hydrogen bonds and the wild tug of the Earth's gravity. Now, imagine the sound of rainfall again. The patter, the splatter, the gentle taps on leaves or rooftops. Each sound comes from the impact of drops of different shapes and sizes. Small spherical drops make a soft, tinkling sound. Larger, squashed drops thud with a heavier note. Together, they create a natural symphony, a concert orchestrated by chemistry and physics. The dance of raindrops is more than shape and sound. It also plays with light and color. The way droplets bend, reflect, and scatter sunlight gives rise to one of nature's most magical spectacles, the rainbow. Each droplet becomes a prism, splitting white sunlight into a spectrum of colors. Later, in another chapter, you'll learn the secret of rainbows, how geometry and the wave nature of light paint bright bands of color across the sky. But for now, rest with the thought that every drop is a tiny, perfect stage for nature's light show. let's return to the chemistry hidden in these tiny spheres. Water's unique polarity lets droplets attract and dissolve gases from the air. Around them, carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, and even trace pollutants. These dissolved molecules shape the very nature of each drop. For instance, carbon dioxide, that invisible gas you breathe out, dissolves into droplets, forming a gentle, weak acid called carbonic acid. This is why natural rain is slightly acidic, with a pH around 5.6, just a touch below neutral. This mild acidity weathers rocks slowly and frees minerals for plants to use. It is a quiet, natural part of Earth's chemistry. But when other gases enter the air, like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides from industrial pollution, rain can become much more acidic. Acid rain, sometimes dropping to a pH near 4 or 3, can harm forests, rivers, and even buildings. This shows how the chemistry of raindrops is a direct mirror of the air we breathe. Despite occasional harshness, rain's chemistry is mostly a story of balance. You might imagine each raindrop as a little courier, carrying both gifts and messages from sky to earth. It ferries nutrients that plants rely on and cleanses the air, sweeping dust, soot, and pollen down to the ground. Your senses too are touched by rain's chemistry. That fresh, earthy scent you breathe after the first drops fall. A fragrance, called petrichor, is a blend of plant oils released from dry soils, microbial compounds like geosmin, released by soil bacteria, and the sharp tang of ozone born of lightning. This perfume carries stories that echo deep within you, perhaps from ancient survival instincts, calming your mind and body as your body feels the gentle, irregular touch of rain against skin. Let it remind you that each drop is a messenger of life, renewal, and the quiet chemistry moving through the world. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, imagine the soft dance of raindrops, their shapes, colors, scents, and sounds, a delicate gift from the sky, shaped by invisible forces and ancient bonds. So, as the rhythmic sound of rain lulls you deeper, consider this: how might the tiny world within a single raindrop tell the story of the sky and the earth, of life itself? Softly, the raindrop begins a slow descent, carrying whispers of sky and earth's gentle breath. Each drop a traveler, a messenger in flight, weaving through realms, touching life with delight. Let your mind drift with the quiet dance of rain now. As you settle deeper into your cozy space, feel the gentle rhythm of raindrops falling around you, each one beginning a journey that is both ordinary and extraordinary. You might imagine a single droplet, freshly freed from a cloud, embarking on its slow dance downward. But this journey is far from simple. The raindrop is not alone. It carries with it tiny stories and intricate chemistry, woven from its time aloft, and the path it takes to reach the earth. Picture the drop as a tiny traveler in a vast sky, shaped by subtle forces you cannot see, but can feel in the soft patter on your window or the fresh scent on the breeze. The air around it is a living tapestry, filled with invisible molecules, particles, and energies that shape the droplet's chemistry. As your imagination traces its fall, consider how the raindrop moves through layers of air, each one a little different. Near the clouds, the air is cool and thin, and gravity's pull is gentle. But as the drop descends, the air thickens and warms, pushing against it like a soft but ever-present embrace. This hug of the atmosphere is more than just resistance. It sculpts the raindrop, pressing and pulling, flattening its shape gently, like a potter shaping clay on a wheel. When the drop is small, surface tension holds it in a perfect sphere, little globe of liquid shimmering with the sunlight inside it. But as it grows larger, air pushes harder from below, and the drop flattens, sometimes splitting into smaller siblings, each continuing the journey in its own way. Your body knows this feeling well. Imagine walking through a gentle rain. The drops kiss your skin softly, some round and light, others flat and brisk. In this way, the sensation of rain connects your senses directly to the delicate dance of physics and chemistry above. Along its descent, the raindrop collects invisible guests, tiny particles of dust, bits of salt from distant seas, even microscopic life flitting through the air. Each plays a role in the chemistry of the drop, dissolving into it, changing its character, and leaving traces for the earth below. This chemistry is not random. It is a conversation, a dialogue between air, water, and earth, whispered through molecules and woven into every drop. The drop takes into itself gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide, each dissolved quietly, like secrets shared between close friends. As the drop nears the ground, it carries with it these dissolved treasures: nitrates that nourish plants, minerals that enrich the soil, and trace chemicals from faraway places. When it finally touches the earth, the drop dissolves into the soil, delivering messages and gifts that help seeds wake and roots breathe. Pause for a moment now, and imagine the soil beneath your feet as a deep and living page, waiting to be written upon by these falling droplets. Each drop's impact is gentle, but has the power to shift tiny chemical balances, awaken microbes, and spur new growth. The rain nourishes not only plants, but also the quiet rhythm of the earth. It replenishes reservoirs of moisture, refills the veins of trees, and helps streams sing again. Beneath the surface, water carries nutrients unseen but vital, cradling roots in a tender embrace. This cycle, connecting sky and soil, is a lesson in patience and persistence. Water falls, nourishes, seeps, and rises once again. A timeless loop that echoes the heartbeat of the planet. It is chemistry in motion, yes, but also a lullaby for your minda, soft, steady pulse that carries life forward gently, day by day. Now, let your thoughts drift like that raindrop, continuing its endless journey. Imagine its travels over forests and cities, mountains and deserts, always changing, always renewing. And as you feel your breath slow and your body relax, know that the rain you hear outside is part of a vast story, one as ancient as the earth itself. Every drop you touch has been shaped by clouds and air, by particles and light, and now it reaches you soft, pure, and full of life. As night deepens, hold on to the quiet wonder of that simple molecule, water, moving and changing, connecting everything. The chemistry of a raindrop is a gentle miracle, whispering secrets of the sky down to your hand, inviting you to rest in the soft embrace of the natural world. Perhaps tomorrow, when you step outside after a rain, you'll sense this invisible conversation anew. You'll feel the chemistry not as numbers or jargon, but as peace, a calm renewal, the world breathing beside you as you sleep, wrapped in the gentle, endless cycle of rain. And with that thought, drift deeper, carried by the rhythm of falling drops, the quiet chemistry of rain singing you softly into sleep. In the hush of cold skies, water transforms from mist to crystal, a shimmering dance. Snowflakes weave secrets in icy lace, each one a quiet poem of place. Let your mind drift softly on winter's breath as you nestle deeper into your blanket. Feel the cool hush settle in the air around you. Imagine the gentle quiet that falls with winter's touch, a stillness woven through the world. Tonight, let your thoughts wander to the delicate art of frozen water, the silent whispers of snow, ice, and the myriad forms that water takes when the world cools and slows. Think first of a snowflake, each one a tiny masterpiece, crafted not by hands but by invisible laws. The quiet chemistry of cold air and water vapor dancing together. Picture the water vapor rising, like a gentle breath, reaching higher and higher until it finds a place so cold that the molecules begin to cling, to arrange themselves, not as liquid, but as a solid. This transformation is magic lived by science. The water molecules, shaped like tiny V's, reach out with invisible arms, hydrogen bonds to lock together in perfect hexagons, forming the very skeleton of a snowflake's crystal. It is as if each molecule knows the secret pattern to create lace so fine, so intricate, that no two snowflakes are truly alike. Tiny changes in temperature and humidity guide the branch's growth, twining and stretching in endless variations. Imagine a snowflake floating gently down, drifting like a whisper through the quiet sky. It is more than frozen water. It is a frozen song, a fleeting sculpture of nature's poetry. Your breath meets the cold, and you might almost catch a glimpse of these delicate crystals if you looked closely, sparkling in the faint light like tiny stars descending. Now imagine the silent drift of snow covering fields and forests, laying a soft white blanket over the world. This blanket does more than beautify. It protects and soothes. Beneath this icy quilt, the earth rests, roots are shielded from harsh winds, and small creatures burrow safely. The chemistry of snow plays a gentle, sustaining role. Its slight acidity, born from dissolved carbon dioxide, slowly aids in breaking down rocks and releasing nutrients to the soil below. Snow is thus both a giver and a guardian, a quiet sculptor, shaping the land's slow transformation. Next, consider hailwater's more dramatic frozen form. Unlike snowflakes' delicate artistry, hailstones are forged in storm's wild heart. They begin as tiny supercooled droplets, liquid water chilled below, freezing but daring to remain liquid, suspended in turbulent clouds. When these droplets meet a tiny cedar speck of dust or ice, they freeze instantly, creating a core caught in powerful updrafts. These icy cores swirl higher and higher, collecting layer upon layer of frozen water, growing like pearls in a vast celestial oyster. Eventually, gravity wins. The hailstones fall, sometimes small as peas, sometimes soaring like icy bullets, striking the earth with a sharp percussion. The chemistry of frozen layers records their stormy journeys, each ring a chapter of ascent and descent inside the cloud. This icy dance is more than weather drama. It is a testament to water's versatility and the interplay of temperature, pressure, and motion. Now gently shift your mind to the fragile beauty of freezing rain, a phenomenon both enchanting and treacherous. Here, liquid raindrops fall through, layers of air at just the right temperature, cold enough to chill the drops below freezing, yet lacking a solid surface to freeze on until they meet the earth. When these supercooled droplets touch the ground, their transformation is instant. They freeze to form a thin, glistening glaze of ice, coating branches, rooftops, and roads in fragile crystal glass. This frozen skin turns familiar places into sparkling worlds of quiet danger and surprising beauty, reminding us how small variations in temperature can shift the simplest of things, water, into forms profoundly different. Your body knows. These shifts tooth the sharp crispness of ice underfoot, the hush that follows a snowfall, the sudden stillness across a frozen landscape. Each form of frozen water tells a tale of molecular choreography, balancing forces that shape not only clouds and storms, but the very ground beneath your feet. The chemistry beneath these forms is simple yet profound. Water molecules, with their slight charges, their polarity, arrange and rearrange, bonding into patterns that dictate whether they float as snow, slam as hail, or instant freeze as glaze. One could say water is nature's greatest artist, painting scenes from frosty lace to icy thunder, each piece unique, each gesture deliberate. In these quiet moments, as your breath settles and your eyelids grow heavy, imagine the snow gently melting with the first warmth of day, seeping into the soil once more. The frozen forms of water recycle endlessly, their chemistry intertwined with life, melting to nurture roots, filling streams, feeding the great cycles that power forests and fields. There is a poetry in the transition from ice that glints like crystal in morning light, back to water that feeds a thirsty world. It is a song of change, gentle yet ceaseless, reminding us that all things flow, transform, and return. In this world of frozen water, every flake, every crystal, every fragile shard is a messenger. They speak of time, of seasons turning, of history etched in ice, of the delicate balance that sustains life. Allow your mind to rest in this thought. Each winter's snow that blankets the earth is both a gift and a promise. It carries the chemistry of the sky, the memory of storms, and the tender care of the seasons. And just as snowflakes are never the same, your own journey, your own thoughts, continue to weave patterns, unique and beautiful, as you drift further. Feel the quiet wisdom of water's frozen forms, their patience, their resilience, their grace. And in this calm, ask yourself gently, what stories might the next snowfall tell? What silent journeys do those snowflakes carry from the clouds to your outstretched hand? The answers will come softly as the chemistry of winter continues its quiet, endless dance. If you listen closely as this chapter fades, you may almost hear the faint echo of falling snow, a soundless melody that carries both science and poetry. Every frozen drop is an invitation to rest, to dream, and to feel the delicate interplay of the world's oldest chemistry. May your sleep be as gentle as the snow, as steady as the fall of ice, and as peaceful as the quiet that comes with the turning of the seasons. Good night, and may the chemistry of the sky cradle you softly in its timeless embrace. Above you drift great gatherings of whispers and wonder, vessels of vapor, dressed in white and grey thunder. Clouds hold the breath of oceans, the promise of rain, soft sculptures of water's endless refrain. Rest your mind beneath their quiet embrace. Let your body relax now, sinking softly into the warmth of your bed. Your mind, like a quiet sky, opens gently to the vast world above the kingdom of clouds. While you rest, a story unfolds in the air, a tale of these delicate giants that float far overhead, silently weaving the rhythms of rainfall and weather. Look up in your mind's eye. Clouds are so much more than shapes drifting through the blue. They are living libraries written in water and air, vast gatherings of droplets and tiny ice crystals, suspended in invisible dances. Each cloud is a delicate orchestra, a harmony, spun from billions of microscopic water droplets, each too small to see with your naked eye, yet together shaping the skies. Water vapor, the invisible breath of the ocean, lakes, and forests rises slowly, slipping upward like a subtle sigh. As it reaches cooler heights, the molecules gently touch those tiny particles we call aerosols. Dust, salt, or pollen, and transform from airy mist to droplets. This transformation is a quiet miracle. It is the first glimmer of cloudbirth, the moment when invisible moisture becomes tangible mist. Imagine each droplet as a tiny pearl sewed into the fabric of the cloud, held aloft by currents of rising air like dancers on an endless stage. Clouds wear many costumes, sometimes soft, fluffy, and white cotton balls scattered across a sunny sky, other times dark and brooding, heavy with rain, gathering strength in slow congregation. There are wispy clouds, called cirrus, so thin and high that they seem painted on the sky with a translucent brushstroke. Made mostly of ice crystals, they sparkle with sunlight, glinting like millions of tiny diamonds. Nearer the earth hang puffy cumulus clouds, those friendly, fairy tale shapes in summer skies. They grow and shrink as winds lift and cool the air, a living tapestry responding to the gentle chemistry of temperature, pressure, and moisture in the deeper places of the sky. Towering cumulonimbus clouds rise like grand cathedrals, ambitious and mighty. These are the clouds of thunder and lightning, where water droplets and ice crystals mingle in fierce but beautiful chaos, crafting storms that remind us of nature's power and poetry. Inside every cloud, drama unfolds. Droplets collide softly, or sometimes violently, joining together to grow too heavy to remain aloft. Gravity begins its steady pull, and the dance turns downward, the beginning of precipitation. But clouds are more than mere water carriers. They are finely tuned sensors and mediators of the Earth's delicate balance. The chemistry inside clouds regulates how sunlight travels through the atmosphere, shaping weather patterns and climates. Particles within clouds scatter sunlight, softening the harsh glare of the sun into the gentle light of dawn or dusk. Clouds also trap warmth, wrapping the earth in a protective glow during cold nights. In winter, this can mean the difference between bitter frost and tender dew. The story of clouds is also a story of transformation. Water here is not static, but constantly on the move, evaporating, condensing, freezing, melting. Each cloud is a fleeting community, held together by invisible forces: humidity, temperature, and the intricate dance of molecular bonds. Imagine for a moment the cloud as a breathing organism, contracting, dissolving. It carries not just water, but stories of the places it has flown over: the salty seas, the dusty deserts, the lush forests. With each journey, the cloud carries a unique chemical signature, a whisper of the lands and waters below. This is why rain from one cloud tastes different from rain falling from another. Each drop is a messenger carrying Earth's endless variety. And so, when you feel the first cool mist on your skin, or hear the soft rustling of rain tapping windows, remember you are touching a network far larger than yourself, a global conversation flowing through clouds, water, and air. Clouds remind us of cycles too grand for our daily lives to hold in full grasp. They are the sky's storytellers, writing epics in vapor and light. Their ephemeral shapes invite imagination, rest, and wonder. As your eyelids grow heavier, drift with the clouds. Let their gentle rising and falling carry your thoughts into dreams. Imagine floating with them above a silent forest, where leaves shimmer wet with rain, or over quiet oceans where waves mirror big white skies. Each breath you take is part of this endless cycle, for the air you breathe was shaped by clouds and rain, dust and sunlight. You and the clouds are connected by invisible threads of water and chemistry, a dance as old as time. Before sleep takes you fully, consider this: clouds teach us about balance, the harmony between vapor and liquid, cold and warmth, stillness and motion. They remind you that even the lightest touch, the smallest droplet, can hold immense power. So rest in the knowledge that tomorrow, Clouds will glide overhead, again quiet giants working tirelessly to gather, hold, and release the water that sustains life on Earth. And though their forms may change as swiftly as your dreams, their presence is a gentle certainty, a soft pulse echoing in the wide, rolling sky. As you settle deeper, let your last waking thoughts glide along with the clouds, light, fluid, and free, and may your sleep be as peaceful as a sky brushed with the softest silver of dawn. What will the next cloud bring? Perhaps a soft rain to whisper secrets on your window pane, or a sunlit glow tracing new shapes to dream upon. The sky waits patiently to tell you more, story silent, vast, and endlessly unfolding. Good night, and may the quiet chemistry of clouds cradle you gently in the arms of night. Listen close to the soft murmur of rivers, carrying secrets from mountains to seas. They weave stories in ripples and currents, a graceful arc of motion and memory. Let your thoughts drift with the flowing water. Feel your body settle deeper now. As your breath slows and softens, picture yourself beside a gentle river where water slips quietly over smooth stones, murmuring as it travels. This isn't just any water, it is the continuation of a timeless journey, a wanderer that has traveled oceans, clouds, and rain before arriving here near you. Rivers are the veins of the earth, carrying not just liquid, but life and history. They are persistent storytellers, tracing the contours of the land, carrying whispers of distant rains and ancient glaciers. Beneath their surface lies a remarkable chemistry, a continuous dialogue between water, rocks, soil, and everything living. Imagine each drop in the river as a traveler reunited with old companions. The same molecules that slipped away from oceans now reunite in the steady current, joining countless others on their endless passage toward the sea. As rivers trickle down mountain slopes, they gather more than just water. They collect minerals, freshly released by the slow wearing of rocks, nutrients washed from soils, and tiny particles suspended like dust motes shimmering beneath the sun. These are ingredients for life's delicate recipe, transported patiently to nourish ecosystems far downstream. The chemistry here is subtle, but profound. When rain falls on land, it sinks into soil, dissolving minerals that were once trapped deep within stones. This process, chemical weathering, slowly breaks rock into the tiny grains of soil and frees nutrients, essential to plants and microbes. Rivers gather these dissolved minerals, carrying them gently, balancing their flow so that freshwater ecosystems thrive. Every twist and turn embodies the balance between water's energetic push and the calm patience of natural chemistry. In the quiet current, life takes hold. Microscopic algae cling to stones, basking in filtered sunlight. Tiny invertebrates, delicate and translucent, dance with the flow, while fish glide silently, their scales shimmering like living jewels. Water in a river is never still, and its chemistry is always changing. Temperature rises and falls with the sun's passage. Sunlight stirs photosynthesis, creating oxygen to breathe. Nutrients blossom and shift, woven into cycles of birth, growth, and decay that ripple outward. The river's chemistry is also shaped by the air it touches. As water dances over stones and splashes into the breeze, it absorbs oxygen, a vital gift that breathes life into this watery world. This exchange is like a whispered promise between air and sea. Along the riverbanks, trees and plants lean toward the water. Their roots drink deeply, taking in the dissolved sustenance poured forth by the river. Leaves unfurl and flowers bloom, their colors bright against the green. All sustained by this living chemistry, your mind can wander gently now with the flowing water, sensing the rhythm of raindrop to river to ocean, a cycle so vast, so old, it feels like the breath of the world itself. Consider how rivers also remember. They carry traces of their journey within every molecule, from the dust of distant deserts, the ash of ancient volcanoes, to hints of salt from the sea's faraway arms. The chemistry encodes this story silently, a liquid archive of earth and sky entwined. Sometimes the river's journey is slow and meandering, stretching across wide floodplains where water spills gently, nourishing rich soils like a steady heartbeat. Other times it plunges fiercely through narrow gorges carved over millennia, roaring its power and shaping the landscape itself. These shifts remind you of life's own ebb and flow, moments of calm and moments of turmoil, each necessary to the balance of growth and rest. The river carries this dance in its waters, steady and patient. As night falls and stars begin to sprinkle the dark sky, Rivers reflect their shimmer, twin galaxies rippling in the quiet folds of water. It is an invitation to your mind to drift deeper, to join this endless flow from source to sea. Rivers do more than carry water, they carry stories. You and your world are connected through this moving thread, part of a great unfolding, where every drop returns home again. Imagine, then, that your breath, your heartbeat, flows with the rhythm of the river. Each exhale a wave, each inhale a current, binding you to the ancient chemistry of water's dance. Before you close your eyes fully, let one last thought settle gently. Rivers do not rush simply to end, but flow to become something new, reshaping land, nurturing life, completing cycles. In their movement is a lesson. Life is a journey without a final destination, a gentle unfolding. So you rest not just beside a river, but as part of water's endless echo, carried gently, whispered softly, always moving, always alive. May your dreams follow the river's path, peaceful, deep, and full of quiet discovery. And as the night carries you, know that water's ancient journey carries you too, in calm companionship. What new stories will tomorrow's flowing water bring? The river waits, patient and enduring, ready to whisper more wonders with the coming dawn. Good night, and let the river's quiet song carry you softly into sleep. Beneath every drop that falls, the earth breathes soft and deep. Soil cradles life in silent conversation, whispering back through roots and microbes. Feel the pulse of unseen worlds beneath your feet as you settle deeper into stillness. Imagine the rain as it reaches the earth, not merely touching but becoming part of it. Every droplet that falls stirs a response in the soil, a quiet conversation between sky and ground. Close your eyes and picture the scene just beneath your feet, a rich, living world, tender and vast. Listening carefully to the rain's arrival, the soil is more than dirt. It is a vast canyon of life, an intricate community where earth, water, air, and living creatures mingle in complex harmony. When raindrops land, they do not simply soak in and disappear. They enter this world like a gentle messenger, carrying not only moisture, but the subtle chemistry of sky and air. This chemistry is a language of sustenance, change, and renewal. Each drop delivers dissolved gases such as oxygen and carbon dioxide, nutrients like nitrogen and minerals, and even tiny organic molecules emitted by plants and microbes. These components dissolve into films around soil particles, awakening life hidden in the darkness. Imagine water moving slowly, like a whispered breath slipping between particles of sand, clay, and organic matter. This movement allows roots to drink deeply, drawing from pools of moisture created by the rain. Roots, delicate yet determined, reach outward like explorers seeking connection in the soil's embrace. Beneath the surface, countless microscopic beings, bacteria, fungi, protozoa thrive in the damp environment. They are the unseen architects of soil chemistry, breaking down organic matter, cycling nutrients, and forming symbiotic relationships with plant roots. Rain awakens their activity, turning soil into a living, breathing system. The soil's ability to hold water is a delicate balance. Too little moisture, and these tiny creatures slow their dance, sheltering into dormancy. Too much, and oxygen is squeezed away, leaving suffocating pockets where roots and microbes struggle. Rain's rhythm, gentle showers, or steady often just right to nourish without overwhelming. Trapped within the soil, water carries with it chemicals that shift the earth's character. Minerals once locked tight in rock dissolve slowly as water seeps through, releasing calcium, potassium, and magnesium. These nutrients support plants in their green work, the photosynthesis, that brings color and life to landscapes. The soil also holds the echoes of past storms. Rainwater carries dissolved carbon dioxide, which forms a mild acidity, helping to weather rock slowly, shaping landscapes over millennia. This gentle chemistry sculpts valleys and cliffs, contributing to the world's enduring beauty. Your body, too, participates in this great cycle. As you breathe, you inhale oxygen, released by plants, sustained through nutrients carried by rain. As you lie here, your pulse is part of the Earth's steady rhythm, water cycling through sky, soil, and living things. Consider how seeds buried beneath the surface listen for rain's chemical message. Many lie dormant for years, a patient pause waiting for the right moment. When rain sinks into the soil and releases plant oils and moisture, those quiet seeds awaken. They swell and push upward, bursting through soil in a miraculous growth spurt. Rain speaks softly but urgently to these little travelers, inviting life to begin anew. Roots, sensing changes in moisture and chemistry, may release their own signals. Together with microbes, they form networks that share nutrients and information, an underground symphony far older than forests or fields. Rain is the conductor, setting the tempo for these invisible conversations. Even tiny fungi, weaving through soil particles, respond to rainfall by transporting water and minerals to plants, creating alliances that sustain entire ecosystems. Networks, as these fungi are called, blur the line between individual roots, turning the soil into a cooperative community. This living soil, in response to rain, helps filter and purify water as it moves deeper. Pollutants that hitch a ride with raindrops can be trapped and broken down by microbes, preventing harm to streams and rivers downstream. The soil acts like a guardian, a silent partner in keeping the planet's waters clean. Yet soil's story is also one of vulnerability. When rains grow too heavy or too rare, this balance can unravel. Intense downpours may wash away vital nutrients, carrying them away before roots can drink. Extended dry spells can halt microbial activity, slowing the dance of life in the earth. Rain's rhythm shapes not just individual plants but entire landscapes. Feel the softness of this earth beneath your thoughts. It patiently receives every drop, offering sustenance, shelter, and renewal. It listens as rain falls from the sky, its chemistry a gentle prescription for life itself. Slow now, with your breath. Let your mind drift deep into the soil's embrace, where water, minerals, and life are entwined in quiet communion. Imagine droplets weaving through tiny spaces, touching particles of clay and humus, awakening the infinite small lives that nourish great forests and fields. The interaction between soil and rain is a timeless dialogue, a gentle choreography that has persisted since life first clung to the land. It is a humble miracle, each drop a gift, each response a step in the dance of renewal. As you prepare to rest completely, carry with you this thought. Beneath the surface, life is waking with every rain, connected endlessly to you and the world. Above, the chemistry whispering in the soil is a promise that life endures, grows, and blossoms, even in silence. What stories might the soil tell if it could speak? How many secrets does it cradle, held softly in wet earth? As you drift towards sleep, let yourself be part of this vast, tender system, quiet, enduring, and full of gentle magic. May your dreams root deeply, nourished by this silent conversation beneath the rain, and may you wake refreshed, connected to the breath of earth and sky. Above you, soft clouds gather, silent sculptors painting the sky. They hold tender droplets suspended, bearing stories of air and earth, quietly preparing rain's gentle arrival. As you rest your body and quiet your thoughts, lift your mind gently, upward toward the sky where clouds drift, whispering secrets in the breeze. Clouds, those soft sculptures of vapor and dust, are the invisible architects of rain. They float between earth and sun, weaving light and chemistry into the fabric. Oh, weather, to stand beneath a waving sky is to be embraced by their silent, patient work. Clouds exist where water becomes something new, not quite vapor, not yet liquid, an ethereal dance at the edge of form. Imagine each cloud as a vast sponge, filled with countless microscopic droplets, so light and tiny they hang suspended, held by gentle currents and subtle forces. You cannot catch a single droplet between your fingers, for they are smaller than the width of a human hair. Yet together, they form mighty walls of mist and white. The story of these droplets begins in a delicate balance of water and air, temperature and pressure, and in the quiet presence of tiny particles called aerosols. These can be bits of desert dust, sea salt crystals, pollen grains, or even soot from faraway fires. They are the seeds around which water vapor gathers, clustering molecule by molecule, drawn by attraction like old friends reaching hands in the dark. This joining of vapor and particle is what we call condensation, when invisible water turns visible, revealing the architecture of clouds. Yet, this is not a chaotic assembly. It is chemistry in repose, shaped by the subtle push and pull of nature's laws. As vapor condenses, droplets grow, shift, and sometimes merge gently, creating larger drops. Others disappear back into vapor, a delicate ebb and flow like silent breathing in the sky. Imagine how clouds travel, drifting slowly or racing with storms, carrying their hidden cargo of water. They are not just fluffy spectators, but active participants in the water cycle. The droplets they hold will one day fall softly, or in torrents delivering refreshed life to the earth below. This cycle has been cresting and flowing over billions of years, linking planets, oceans, forests, and you. Clouds also hold stories of light. When sunlight filters through them, something remarkable happens. Each droplet acts as a tiny prism, bending, reflecting, and scattering sunlight, creating luminous halos, silver linings, and the borrowed colors of a rainbow. This enchanting play of light is a secret conversation of physics and chemistry, whispered across the sky for anyone willing to watch and wonder. You might notice that clouds were many faces, puffy cotton balls, thin veils, towering giants with flattened belts. Each shape tells of the temperature and moisture within, a living map of the air's invisible dance. Towering thunderheads mark intense energy, while wispy cirrus clouds trace the paths of high winds. In the softness of stratus layers, you feel the quiet lull after a rain, a gentle hush in the world's breath. Within clouds, temperature guides the journey of water droplets. Above freezing, droplets remain liquid in a delicate balance. But in colder heights, water becomes supercooled liquid below zero, waiting for a nudge to transform into ice crystals. These crystals grow with intricate hexagonal patterns, sparkling architects of snowflakes. The delicate chemistry of hydrogen bonds gives snow its unique form, a tiny miracle falling softly to earth. As clouds rise and fall with air currents, their chemistry changes, shaped by the invisible pollution and purity around them. In clean air, clouds form with natural aerosols, gentle and white. In cities or smoky regions, particles multiply, making clouds denser, more complex, sometimes darker. This subtle change can influence rain's timing and form, sometimes giving us misty days. Other times, a sudden downpour. The depth of clouds is also a playground of electric energy. When charged particles gather within, the stage is set for thunder and lightning. Nature's dazzling light show. Lightning's fierce heat splits molecules, creating new compounds that nourish the earth. Thunderstorms, with their music of thunder and rain, remind us that clouds are portals of transformation between atmosphere and life. As your breath slows, imagine floating among these clouds, drifting in the vast ocean of sky. Feel the cool, moist air brush your skin, the hush of countless droplets weaving invisible tapestries. They are the keepers of rain's promise, the guardians of the cycle that sustains forests and fields, rivers and oceans, and the quiet pulse of the living planet. Clouds invite you to a moment of gentle wonder, reminder that even in stillness, profound change is always at work. They embody patience and rhythm, showing how something as light as mist holds the power to shape landscapes and nourish life. With every cloud that drifts overhead, water cycles silently, endlessly, connecting you to the deepest chemistry of the world. So as you close your eyes, let the sky's soft chemistry rock you gently towards sleep. Imagine each droplet's slow journey, carried by clouds that hold and release, softly sculpting rain's arrival. In this calming embrace, the invisible beauty of rain's birth unfolds, a lullaby of molecules, light, and air. Perhaps on another night, you will rise and look upward, seeing clouds not only as fleeting shapes, but as the silent architects of life's continuity, ever moving, ever changing, always whispering to the earth. What secrets do they hold for tomorrow? What new stories will their chemistry write across the sky? For now, rest in the soft hush of clouds, knowing they carry the dreams of rain, the breath of storms, and the quiet chemistry of life, just as you carry the wish for peace and renewal within yourself.